dog food too. So for great prices and hometown service, stop in and see Sandy and Donnie at Home Warehouse. Open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30, Saturday 8 to 12 noon.
Home Warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Hi, I'm Jason Brady, the owner of Brady's Rad Cafe, the new restaurant in Uniontown Mall near JCPenney's. Join us for our selection of unique burgers and hot dogs, steak and meatball hoagies, and more. Always fresh and made right here by friendly people in a welcoming throwback atmosphere at Brady's Rad Cafe. No frozen fast food, always fresh and fun at Brady's Rad Cafe in the Uniontown Mall near JCPenney's.
You'll see there's a whole new Ford for you.
Happy New Year from Thurby's Riverside Ford. New year, new deals, and new vehicles. Just announced, new 2025 Ford Bronco and Bronco Sport come with $1,000 Ford bonus cash plus 2.9% Ford credit financing.
And the best-selling truck on the planet, the new 2025 Ford F-150 4x4 comes with $2,250 Ford bonus cash plus 2.9% financing. It may be cold outside, but the deals are hot. Are you thinking about a new 2025 Ford Maverick all-wheel drive pickup? Just announced, $1,000 Ford factory incentive on all Mavericks. We have the inventory and we've got the best deals.
Stop in and see Joey, Sammy, Jimmy, or Ashley at Thurby's Riverside Ford, located 1 mile past the casino at Nemacolin. Ford credit financing required. Offer ends January 31st, 2026. Thurby's Riverside Ford, your presidential award and one Ford Elite dealer.
Another chance to win big with WMBS and the PA Lottery is going on now through January 31st. Just be the sixth caller to 724-438-4593 when you hear and win $30, $1, $500 a week for life PA Lottery scratch-off tickets. With the Pennsylvania Lottery's new $500 a week for life scratch-off, the $500 just doesn't happen this week. It happens week after week after week. Benefits older Pennsylvanians. Must be 18 years or older. Please play responsibly.
Tune in to WMBS Saturday mornings at 8:20 for Your Financial Future with Gary Boatman, certified financial planner, investment advisory representative, syndicated columnist, and author, as he addresses such income issues as planning for retirement, future healthcare expenses, avoiding financial pitfalls, and much more. That's Your Financial Future with Gary Boatman, Saturday mornings at 8:20 right here on WMBS, or Gary Boatman welcomes your calls at 724-243-3075. That's 724-243-3075.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of John Marietta and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Fayette County Recorder of Deeds Office or Fayette County government. This program is privately produced and funded, and no county resources are used for its production or promotion.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was trucking up the highway, minding my own lane, with some dude in a Prius went and flipped me off. Guess my redneck hit him wrong. Seems like everyone these days is a ticking time bomb full of hate for folks like me who don't agree and ain't ever gonna change. And it gets me thinking, leave this long-haired country boy alone. And I start singing.
Hey, everybody, this is John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly. And today's show is being brought to you by Burhans Krause Funeral Home, Thundering Hills Feed and Supply, Fayette County Recovery Storage and U-Haul, HC Containers, Laser Brothers, Highline Motorsports, Humber Sanitation and Septic Pumping, Fayette Structures, Country Motor Sales, Premier Auto Glass, Fayette County Mega Patriots, HBJ Radio, Mauser's Garage and Tire Center, Solid Foundation Ministries, The Ink Spot in South Connersville, JB Market in Dunbar, HBJ LLC, Mung's Auto Body and Repair, and Fayette Structures. One more time. It's been a kind of a busy week with a lot of things going on. I guess the Steelers are getting a new coach, or at least they're going to be in the hunt for one. We're going to ask Nick who he thinks it's going to be. We got to pick that, Nick.
I think they're going to bring Bill Cowher back.
Well,
No,
that could very well be.
I doubt it. Someone. Kevin Stefanski, I think maybe could be a candidate. The Browns' old coach.
Yeah, the Browns' old coach. That's something I heard.
Yeah.
But anyways, we was at the farm show on Friday, and Melanie took over for me, and it was a good thing. And I appreciate her doing that, and we're going to keep moving forward and do a couple different things. Melanie Llewellyn's here with me today, but let's get started. I'll tell you what. This is the Hillbilly Jon, coming at you from deep in God's country, the hollers and the hills in the heart of America, where faith ain't fancy, but it's still on fire. You're tuned in, and we don't sugarcoat the gospel. We serve it straight out of the skillet, hot and holy. Now, I want to open this afternoon with word from Galatians 4:16, and this happened to come up on my this morning. Somebody sent it to me. I am therefore your enemy, because I tell you the truth. It was Paul that said that, and he asked that a long time ago. But I reckon it still fits right here and right now. Seems like anytime you speak plain truth these days, somebody gets offended. You preach against sin, and they say you're full of hate. You point out corruption, and they say you're crazy or conspiracious. But truth don't change to please crowds. Truth stays truth, even if the whole world goes crooked. Let's just talk plain while we're here. Got them kind of confused there. We've got politicians in this land, silver-tongued snakes in suits, standing up in the marbled halls and talking about serving the people. But they're too busy serving themselves. They promise the world every election, then they disappear like fog when the sun hits the ground. They lie to your face, smile for the cameras, and think we're too dumb to notice. They rob the widow, tax the poor, pad their pockets, and call it policy. And when you ask them for accountability, they send you a speechwriter instead of a spine. Folks, that ain't leadership. That's discipline wrapped in a handshake. But here's the part that burns my bones. And I've thought about this for the last week. The same spirit of corruption that sits in the Capitol will crawl right into the church pew if we let it. We got preachers playing politics with the pulpit, afraid to offend their tithers, afraid to ruffle feathers, afraid to call sin what it is. But Jesus said it straight in Revelation 3:16. And by the way, my grandmother quoted this Bible verse to me many times. Because thou art lukewarm, neither cold nor hot, I spew thee out of my mouth. Hear that, neighbor? That's heaven saying, pick a side. God don't bless fence sitters or bootlickers. He wants a fire in your bones, not a fog in your soul. The weak, lukewarm religion that winks at wickedness, bows down to power, ain't the gospel. It's a knockoff sold by cowards and clerical callers and crooks in suits. How about it? That was pretty good. I wrote that. So I'm telling you, if it makes me somebody's enemy, speak up, so be it. Better to be a lone wolf for the Lord and we the people than a puppet for the powerful. I'm going to say that again. It's better to be a lone wolf for the Lord and we the people than a puppet for the powerful. Truth ain't always comfortable, but it's always right. And when the black smoke of politics and greed starts filling the air, God's truth still cuts through like lightning in a thunderstorm. You can't claim to stand for Christ while hiding in compromise. Either the fire's burning in your heart or you're drifting cold in the dark. This world needs what this world don't need is more politicians making promise. It needs more prophets telling the people to reform and repent. It needs voices in the wilderness shouting, make straight the way of the Lord. So buckle up, neighbor. This ain't your ordinary show. This is the Hillbilly Jon radio show, where we still believe the Word of God means and what it says. If you're telling the truth, if telling the truth shakes the high places and rattles the power brokers, then glory to God. Let it be. Let it be. I'm not after revenge, but a reckoning. And if you ain't hot or cold, I spew you out. So stay right here. You don't want to miss it. We're just getting warmed up. This is the Hillbilly Jon. This is Hillbilly Jon, and you're listening to the only show where the gospel's still louder than the lies, where heaven's holy, hell is still hot, and the truth comes rolling down the mountain like thunder. I don't know why that just came to me at the last minute, and we put it all together. And I can remember my grandmother quoting that verse from Revelations. Actually, it was something she really believed in, and I thought about that over and over and over. And one of the things that we're going to get to here real quick is I have TJ Cozen on the phone with me also, and Melanie's sitting beside me. But one of the things we're going after this time, that we're doing something completely different with this next election cycle. People for the Republican committee are going to be up for election, and on January the 22nd at 6 o'clock down at the Paint Room in Connellsville, we're going to have a get-together. Anybody that would want to run for not state committee, well, state committee also, but anybody that would be interested in running for local committee person for their precinct, we'd like for you to show up. We're going to put together some things to help you get elected. You need 10 signatures, but I'd like to see you get 30 or 35. We've already got a numerous amount of people that are wanting to run for Republican committee. We have to take back what we've lost, and we've lost it over a little bit. And when we compromise all the time, that's what we're losing. Harry Cochran's running for state senate, and I tell you, he should be with us next Tuesday if everything works out. He had a problem today with a doctor's appointment, and it's no big deal. It's just that Harry's a veteran, and he has to do some things with the VA different times, and it happened it happened that he couldn't be here today. He wanted to be in a big way, but he'll be here next week, and we're going to talk about a lot of different things. So TJ, I got you on the phone, and Melanie's here, and Melanie might not even understand this, but tell us what a precinct committee person is.
So a precinct committee person, basically, they decide who your local committee endorses and supports and creates the rules for running for office. Well, not for running for office, but who the committee is going to support to run for office. So the Republicans and Democrats have a primary system. They used to actually do what the third parties did, and Josh Prince has talked about this in great detail over the years. So back in the day, the Republicans and Democrats had a convention, and they would choose the insiders would choose who ran, and the people got tired of that, so they went to the primary process. Now, third parties, so they don't have a ton of voters compared to the Republicans and Democrats, are shut out of the primary because it's supposed to be like their version of a convention. They choose their candidates at statewide or local conventions. So the Republicans and Democrats, they didn't like that, grassroots people were getting winning primaries. So what a lot of these GOP clubs did was they started endorsing in the primary. And when they got the ability to do primaries, that was supposed to be a no-go. The voters were allowed to choose who won the primary because they didn't want insiders choosing for them who to vote for. So the precinct committee people, they can make that rule again where, hey, we're not going to endorse in the primary unless it's uncontested. And, we're going to go back to the old way of doing things and letting the people decide, not the insiders, who gets to be our representatives for office. And most grassroots that are running don't have the insider money, so those are your conservative MAGA Republicans that don't fit the insider role. Your Thomas Massey types, your Trump types, your Rand Paul types. Those are those mavericks that don't necessarily fit the mold of the establishment.
There's a lot of different names called these people. Some people call the people that don't fit in and try to do the right thing over time and time again. My grandmother always said that doing the right thing when nobody's looking, that's integrity. And she said she always said when nobody's watching, that's when you need to do the best you can. That was her version of that.
I mean, it's a good point. You had brought up, the churches in your intro, and it made me think of, you did the vigil for Charlie Kirk, and it made me think of something Charlie often preached. One of the biggest things for me, and everyone knows I'm a libertarian. I'm very much against taxes. I think we were founded on a nation that literally had enough of a 3% T-tax and rebelled and took out a king. And, one of the big things for me was Charlie a lot of people try to use the Bible to justify a welfare state run by the government. And Charlie always said that it's the church's job to go out and help as a more moral and effective to help poverty than just giving it all to the government.
You know what?
The government's not morally and effective.
For 1 second?
Yep.
Okay. Civil responsibility falls on the person's back. It's a personal responsibility to take care of yourself. If that person cannot take care of themselves, then it's the family's responsibility to take care of that person. If the family cannot do it, then it falls to the church. There are only 4 times that where the church or the country, where the government is supposed to take care of people, and that's to make sure they get, if they're convicted of a crime, that they get a trial that is justified, a legal, rightful. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, government was created.
It was never to take care of people like this, like we do.
Correct.
Never.
Government was created to take care to protect the nation. To protect the country, to protect the people in the country, and that's
commerce and the defense of our borders. That's literally what they were created for.
Yeah, and a lot of us. I mean, there's a lot of us. We can, and I don't want to use the word agree to disagree, but what happened in Venezuela just a little bit ago, I stand with President Trump totally on this. And but you know what? I can also take the point where it has to do with the Monroe Doctrine. It was set in place. We cannot let people build in our back. We cannot let foreign entities come into our backyard and try to take care of things and try to.
Well, that's what happened in Minneapolis.
Well, in Minneapolis, it happened right inside the country.
That's what I'm saying.
So, but this is what we're doing. But I really feel like that by what he's done now and with South America, Venezuela, this is gonna protect us, because the Chinese and the Russians were determined they were gonna take over, and I really think that's what we're getting.
Did you ever hear of the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I think a lot of people need to start reading the Constitution. If you're against what Trump did, and I'm not going to say whether he was wrong or not, if you're against what Trump did, I'm going to take this straw man's argument, then you need to be calling your congressman and your senator and get them to take back the authority that was embodied to them within the Constitution. The problem is Congress and the Senate don't want to be on record for any votes that may be controversial. So Congress and the Senate you know what? Every president is allowed to do limited military action.
Well,
he declared
them terrorist. When he first came in, he declared them a terrorist organization, these drug runners and stuff. So that gave him the feasibility to do what he did.
Yeah, I'm saying that's my argument to certain people and other parties that have issue with what he did. If you really have issue with what he did, then you need to have issue with what Obama did when he bombed a wedding and killed 12 people to kill one terrorist. You have to have an issue with Joe Biden bombing Syria and Yemen. You have to have an issue with Bill Clinton bombing Kosovo and Bosnia.
Oh, he wagged the dog all the time. Anytime there was a
correct,
situation.
and bombing Iraq, by the way.
Yeah, wag the dog is Bill Clinton. That's what he's noted for a lot of times.
Well, let's bring it back to Fayette County again. I know I got off track there a little bit, but what we have to do is we have to get things we have to do things differently, and we have to put things in a different perspective. And like I said, on January the 22nd at 6:00 down at the paint room, I want anybody that be interested in becoming a precinct.
And to be honest, it's not a lot of work. I mean, it's 10 signatures minimum. You really want to get 30 so they can't contest any.
Yeah.
You got to go to one meeting a month. You can also go to these meetings virtually. Now,
If you're
apparently
allowed to, if
they
you're
don't
allowed to
take
stay
the
at a
vote.
meeting. But anyways, that's another story.
Yeah, if you're allowed to stay at the meeting and not get kicked off the call because you call out Scott Dunn for lying, but, and I'll say his name since you like to be kind, John. I'll say his name because Scott Dunn got affected and Santino got offended that you called out Scott for lying. And, it's okay to be offended. Guess what? No one cares. Be offended. In the words of a great comedian.
But that's what we got to do. We're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on a lot of different things. I think that the way we take back this, and actually Melanie said it in church. It has to be a political effort through God. And like I said,
you have to elect righteous people.
And
you have to elect righteous people.
That's where I was getting to.
Yep.
But, yep. I mean,
they need to have good moral fiber. They need to be righteous. They need to actually care about the people.
If they're righteous, if they are righteous, they will have good moral fiber.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? Righteousness is
another one.
righteousness is the whole ball of wax. It's your relationship to with God, and you will have a moral character when you follow the Lord the way you're supposed to. But what happens is these people get in there, and mammon, the spirit of mammon, takes over, which is money and power. And it takes over. They might not be corrupt when they come in, but boy, when they are worth so much more money going out than what they were coming in, there's a problem.
Well, on the local committee, the problem is these local committee people, if they don't like someone, they will team up with the local Democrats to try to oust them from power.
Well, that's why you have to have a strong relationship for the Lord, because what can you imagine against the Lord? That's in Nahum chapter 1, verse 9. What can you imagine against the Lord? So if the Lord has appointed your steps, and you're a righteous person through him, they can say all they want. It'll come right back on them. And I've seen this happen, John. We've seen it happen.
Yeah, we did.
Things that they tell lies, and it turns around, comes right back on them. And you know what? That's not the sad part of it. The sad part of it is if they don't repent, where are they going to spend eternity?
Yes, and they never repent. They don't. I have not seen anyone that's in the.
Well, we don't know what they're going to do when they take their last breath. When they.
Oh yes, they have time. They have time.
Yeah.
But. What kills me is how are you going to sit there in meeting after meeting and tell everyone at lunches and all this that you support the President of the United States, Donald Trump is your president, you voted for him and all this, and then go and work with people that organize No Kings protests?
Yeah, and are for aborting babies. They want to abort babies.
That's like me as a libertarian supporting the IRS.
Hey, tell me this. How many people have to be on that committee?
So it's 2 precinct committee people per precinct, and they're going down to 67.
Like where you vote at in German Township. No, you vote in George's Township. So there would, everywhere you vote, there would be 2 people.
I don't believe George's is getting consolidated.
From that township.
Okay.
So there'd be 2 people from George's Township, whichever precinct there is, and like Redstone Township, they we had 4, but we're down to they combined it. They went down to 3, so there'd be 6 people from Redstone Township. There'd be, I think, George's Township. I think there's 2 places to vote.
There's Votech, and I don't know where the other one is.
Yeah, it's Georgia's 1 and 2. I don't believe they're consolidating now.
So there'd be 4 people that would be able.
Well, how long's their term? How long's their term?
It's the same as the governor. So it'd be 4 years. It'd be every 4 years. and like TJ says, it's one meeting. It'd be one meeting a month, and you have to help out with the. I mean, we just don't want people just to come to one meeting a month. We want people that are willing to work, and we have the fair, and we can do a lot of things at the fair. And
you want someone that will work the polls on primary day and general election.
Yep, there should be, and this is something that we should we need to talk to people about, because it gives them a little bit more than a voice, and because you're part of. But we have to get the right people in the right places, and it's just like Melanie said, we have to get righteous people that are willing to do the right thing. I know Larry Doherty, and there's a couple other people. I've been contacted probably by at least 25 people, I would say, that are thinking about it. We got people in Connellsville now that are at the different precincts that are going to run. We got people up on the mountain in a couple different places, and I'm thanking everybody for what they're willing to step up and do. And I know not everybody's going to be able to make it down to the paint room at that night, but if we get 5 or 6 or 10 people, new people, plus the people we already got that already there, I think that's a win for us. Because if I always think about it. There was 56 signers of the Constitution. Did I get that right? 56? Yeah, I believe 56 signers. No, the Declaration of Independence. You think about that. They changed the way the whole world was. Them 56 men, and they never backed down. They did the right thing over and over, and they realized that. And like I said, the whole deal was. The revolution didn't just start over to the 3% for on T-tax, but that was the final straw. And that's, you think about it, there's been a lot of men and women that have died to give us the right to free speech, free and religion, and being able to worship the way we want to, and the Second Amendment. And
John, can you imagine if John Hancock and Thomas Jefferson were sitting at the Fayette County Commissioners meeting when they raised the taxes 25%?
Oh.
There would have been a call to arms that day. But
they raised it 20. It was 25%.
It was 25%. Well, it's been 78.2% since. Did I get that right, TJ?
No, wait a minute.
78.2% since.
Yeah, it's right around there.
And
It's
that
in the
was Scott
70s
Dunn?
since Scott Dunn
And
took office.
Vacides.
Yep.
And are they both running or coming up for re-election?
They'll be coming up for re-election, not this year, but not this time, but next year.
Well, just
And
remember
Vince
that.
already has a challenger. Amy Liston, I forget her maiden name, but I'm not sure what she's going to run under. They fired her with no disciplinary action, no nothing. She came right at the commissioners meeting and said, "I'm running against Vince in the primary."
She was at the salary board meeting today, and they did some slippery things at the salary board meeting, and
Against her?
Well, not against her, but against all the row offices today. All the elected officials, I can tell you, all the elected officials in the county got a 3% increase in their salary this year. Mine, in order to make a public statement, we're gonna show where my 3% is gonna go. So, anyways, it's gonna go. We're gonna figure out. We're gonna do something because I'm not gonna keep the 3%.
So you're not accepting the 3% to put in
Well,
your pocket?
I'm going to accept it, but I'm going to give it to some kind of. We're going to give it to a charity, or we're going to do something.
Amen.
I just haven't figured out what I want to do yet, because
Initially, they had given permission for him to freeze it, and then the Jack Purcell fought it.
Yeah,
the
so
freeze.
the commissioners were going to fight me on it, and I thought, you know what, this isn't a.
So they were going to fight you if you did not take the 3%.
Yeah. So what I did was I decided we're going to put it in. We're going to put it in. I don't know exactly what we're going to do yet about the whole deal, but we're gonna give it to a charity, or we're going to give it to somebody. Anyways, to make a long story short, all the elected officials got 3% increase. County commissioners, the row officers, and I will tell you that every row officer that was there today voted for they wanted the commissioners didn't want to give the non-union people, like the chief of staff in each office. That's what we'll call them to make it simpler. The chief deputy is the correct title. They cut their raise down to 2%. Okay, so instead of giving them the 3%. And I will tell you that every row officer stood up, from the sheriff to the register of wills, the treasurer, everybody stood up and told and let the commissioners know that it wasn't right that they got 3%, and the people that was working for them didn't get that 3%. And it was kind of a tacky thing. It was almost as tacky as them changing the insurance on us on December the 23rd at 4:30 p.m. after everybody had left the courthouse. So, anyways, they changed our health insurance, which it's just the way they're doing things. They're not being transparent about things, but we're going to find out exactly what the difference was. But they also, in the same thing, they created another position at the courthouse. It's called assistant chief clerk. So, and they created somebody to take a job. But they didn't pay. But they're not going to pay the people that are already there what they should have got. So we'll keep on top of this. I'm sure that
maybe Vince will give up his county car to help fund them raises.
Well, you would think that there would be other ones that would say, you know what, I won't take the 3%. Give it to my chief of staff.
Well, we looked into that. Jack was going to fight you on that, too.
But he didn't want me to do that either.
You know what? If you weren't here on the radio like this, nobody in the county would know all this stuff.
No, we don't have it. The newspaper's not real good about showing things, and we need to
transparency.
Make sure things are being taught. I get it. They raised the taxes. They're trying to cut services. And that's what's going to happen. But they're still promoting a lot of things that don't need to be promoted in the county. Like I said, I feel bad for most of these township supervisors because I really feel that the county commissioner's job is to find money for them, for these townships or boroughs or wherever you're from, and make sure that they're taken care of properly or try to help them out. Instead, they're worried about ribbon cuttings on the bike trail that's already, the railroad built that bike trail how many years ago, and they ran hundreds of thousands of tons of freight and trains back and forth on it, and now they got to get an engineer to tell them how to redo it. So, anyways, that's another.
And they also should be focused on making the county, business friendly, so these townships can get more businesses in there, which is more tax revenue for them.
Well, and you're exactly right. If you have, we need somebody building, and I don't care what it is, widgets or gadgets or whatever you want to call them. We need a manufacturing base here in Fayette County. And the thing of it is, and I've said this from the beginning, that we have the natural gas, we have coal underneath us. There's no reason why we can't attract people to come here.
Oil.
You have the workers.
We also have oil, and we don't know how much oil we have, but this is we should be attracting businesses and not big businesses. I'm not talking about. It's great we get all these eateries. I mean, I'm a connoisseur of everything. So, anyways, I got to watch anymore. But I do love going out to eat. But you know what? That isn't changing. That isn't changing the plane here in Fayette County.
You want businesses that are creating thousands of jobs, not tens of jobs.
Well, if we one of the things that I've said all along, if you get the right businesses in here to do things, they can tap into our natural gas. They can be making power, and we can be making power, and the county could tax that power, and we could send it out to we could send it out to anywhere in this nation. We could light the whole East Coast up right here from Fayette County if we did it right. I mean, it's a fact.
Well, that would be a commissioner that would designate this, right?
It would be commissioners, and we'd have to, and I'm sure the state representatives would get after.
So they could get some grants to make it more lucrative, and they would definitely do that. I don't even
want to do grant money. I don't want to do grant money. I want it all to be private money. Grants is still tax money.
Right.
It is.
I understand that grants are a great thing, and we need to utilize them as much as we can. But if we do it with private money, just like the guy in Washington D.C. is bringing people in here. Billions of dollars worth of companies coming in to create jobs. And that's what we have to do. We have to look for private money. Grant money, still tax money.
Do you want to know something interesting, John? And I don't even know if you know this one. Do you want to know the only two states in the Northeast that produce more power than they absorb are?
I'm not sure about that. I'm sure one of them is
Pennsylvania and West Virginia.
Really?
Who's the two states again?
Pennsylvania and West Virginia, the only two states that produce more power than they use.
And this should be something we're doing. I mean, they scoff at the trains. They scoff at me about the trains, but I've been to Cass, West Virginia. I've been down to Seneca Valley, and I've been down to Maryland to the train down there, and I can tell you, they fill them trains up. And they travel back and forth, and it's a big tourist attraction. We could have that right here in Pennsylvania. Right here in Fayette County. We could have a train station, which is already there. Is all it has to be is refurbished. Now, one of our commissioners will say that it would take $12 million, but there's railroaders that would be willing to step up and do these things. They built that big boy engine down there. I think they rebuilt it down in Cumberland, Maryland.
I just saw that documentary.
And you know what? Most of it, if not 95% of that money, came from people raising money with the railroaders. And
the proof in Fayette County, that people be willing to do this is already shown with the volunteer fire companies that build their own firehouses by membership.
Yeah.
The ingenuity and the heart is already there in Fayette County. It's already been shown.
And and you see these. That's the other thing we've talked about. Let's talk about the firemen and the EMS workers here in the county. They do great things, and these guys, the volunteer fire companies, they're not getting paid. And until you realize you don't realize what a fire department does for you until you have a fire. And believe me, I will be honest about that. I realized that in a heartbeat when it happened to me. They saved our house. There's no doubt about it. And the boys from Republic and from Laybell, clear down Laybell, they showed up and saved my house.
Wow.
I mean, the siding was starting to melt because the garage was on fire and there was nothing they could do. But I can still see the fire company from Republic.
What's that been, 5 years?
It was 2001, I believe.
Okay, 5 years.
But you think about all these different things that goes on, and these guys do a great job. The EMS workers that get you to the hospital when you're having a heart attack, or even the ones that just transport you because you can't drive no more. Think about all that.
Mm-hmm.
And to get to the hospital, to give to do kidney dialysis and all the things. I mean.
And these EMS workers, even though they're paid, I want to tell you, like, I used to work EMS, and a lot of EMS companies will purposely give. I'm not saying this happens in Fayette, but they'll purposely give just enough hours where they don't have to provide health insurance. So you being transported to the hospital may have better health insurance or health insurance alone than the EMT and paramedic treating you.
Yeah, but we have.
And the pay is horrible in Pennsylvania across the state.
But if we build a system right here in Fayette County that produces energy, electricity for wherever it goes to, wherever we sell it to, if we sell and we bring jobs to Fayette County, that fixes a lot of this. It fixes. I mean, it really does. And I just it seems like
and not just that, you could do that with certain businesses. So like. Everyone knows that I'm in southeastern PA. They built a casino here in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. It was Parks Casino. The first thing the commissioners and the township supervisors made Parks Casino do was, okay, we're going to let you build, but you're going to rebuild the infrastructure of this road you want to build on, and you're going to provide the fire department, the EMS, and police with new vehicles every 3 years on your dime from your casino that you're making money off of. In exchange, we will gladly give you the tax break you're asking for 5 years, but you are going to provide that equipment. You're going to provide them any equipment they need to take care of your patrons. And I mean, Bensalem EMS has top-of-the-line equipment. They had Lucas's before it was popular. If people don't know what a Lucas is, it's an automatic CPR machine that pumps your chest. I mean, the casino stuck to their word and did it, and in exchange they got a tax break, but they had to provide those services to the community.
Well, and if you start negotiating these things the way it should be done, instead of just sitting on your hands and wringing your hands and saying, "Well, there's nothing more we can do. We got to raise taxes." That's where we're at.
And I think you guys have a casino that got a couple tax breaks in Fayette
well, I don't
County.
know if the casino did or not, but we got. But one of the things that was supposed to happen in Pennsylvania was that if I might have, I'm pretty sure I have this right, that when the casinos started getting licensed, that the money was supposed to go to help the retired people with property
tax, yeah.
And
you never saw
reduce
that.
property tax, and that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
But the revenue come in.
But the revenue came in.
So where'd the money go?
Yep. It's in, and we talk about all of these different things, but we have to have people that are accountable, not just people that look the other way and say, "Well, that's the way we did it last year." I'm tired of hearing that. I mean, I was in a meeting on Monday, and that got brought up. Somebody said, "Well," they said the same thing I did. They said, just because we did it that way before doesn't mean we have to continue to do it. I mean,
when did this get skewed? I mean, it wasn't always like this. When did it get skewed?
When people got complacent and stopped negotiating the deals for the people.
Exactly.
And it's just, and the same thing happens with our churches too. And so we have to stay on top of this.
Complacency in a church can kill you.
I often think of. I always use Melanie's church because
it's a beautiful church.
Well, it's this little Presbyterian church that was built
1923.
1923.
But they had service around a tree stump in the 1800s. But they built the church in 1923 because we found a girl has the history of it.
So the church went through many different phases from 1923 until what, like 7-8 years ago?
I took over July 19th, 2020.
Okay, so
it'll be 6 years.
So it'll be 6 years. Now, in that 6 years' time, that little church that has 65 members, let's say.
If everybody's there.
Yep, 65 members. They've put a roof on that church. They've painted the whole thing, everything. And you think that's a small task, but it isn't. They cleaned the sanctuary up. They took care of all the pews. In fact, they're going to buy a couple more pews. They put carpet in. They've got a nursery now where a beautiful nursery where the kids can go. New
kitchen.
Doors, new windows.
Oh, the whole downstairs.
We've
kept Asa Walters busy. Asa Walters is busy.
Yeah, but and like I said, it just. And it isn't the only little church I go to. I was in another church on Sunday that I got invited to, and it's a little church, and they're trying to provide. They help people drill wells, water wells in different parts of the world and in Appalachia, and we are part of Appalachia here in Fayette County, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, but we are. And they help people out. But the one thing that I notice about these little churches is it seems like they work with the community, right? I mean, they do. They're doing food banks. They're doing all the. They're
do a lot more than these mega churches.
They're helping the different pro-life groups here in the county.
We do too.
You do too. You do two groups.
2 anti-abortion clinics.
Yep, and they help girls get through this. And you think about it, there was all the different things that goes on, and of course, Melanie, they always have something every once a month. They have a get together in the church and usually have a big meal. The church I was at on Saturday. After Melanie's church, they're having a sweethearts dinner on the 21st. I think Melanie's having hers on the 14th. And I got it ain't no wonder I can't lose weight.
You bringing your sweetheart?
Yeah,
I'll
bring my sweetheart.
You better.
I gotta go to 2 of them this year, maybe 3 before it's over with. I see the little church out there that Bob Miller took over. It's packed. I mean, you think about all these things. These people are doing the right things, and they're doing them for the right reasons. And they're trying to help. They're also trying to help out with their missions at the same time.
It's
tens of thousands of dollars.
What our church does we do two offerings. We do our general offering, and then we do a missionary offering. And whatever we take in missionary offering, the church out of the general offering matches it. So if we get like $1,000 for one entity for missions for the month, well, the church will match $1,000 toward that. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and Melanie's doing. Her church is doing amazing things in Africa, feeding these kids. I mean,
you know what? We talked about that the last time I was in here. The one orphanage. Well, there are two orphanages, one in Pakistan and one in Africa, and they're smaller, and they're doing very well. The kids are well kept, and then the other orphanage in Uganda, he has about 50 to 60 children full time, but all the surrounding villages, there's like 6 surrounding villages, they gravitate there with their children, and he's feeding over 500 children a day, over 500 a day. And we help them every month. And if anybody wants to participate that, I'm on Facebook, MELONIE, Llewellyn, LEWELLEN, and they want to send us some money to help with these kids. I can't go to bed with a full belly and think these kids have nothing to eat. And sometimes it happens.
And it does happen. They have to turn people away. And,
he is every once in a while.
And you think about all these different things that goes on. We as Americans are so fortunate. But in the one church that I visit from time to time, they have a missions in Appalachia and around.
Well, see, we do the soup kitchen in town. We do city missions in town also. Plus, there was a family just a couple weeks ago suffered a devastating fire, lost everything. So we took an offering up for that. And whatever the congregation offered, we doubled it. And they got a check. They received a check this week. Plus, there's different people that are offering different furnitures and things like that for this family.
We also, believe it or not, we worked together with a couple different people, and
we have.
And we had a spaghetti dinner. We raised money for the little girl that was abused over in Brownsville.
Yep.
And we did that, and I got a call, and I will tell you.
Who helped you on that?
Actually, Tronick, and I always say her name wrong. It's Trinette Cunningham helped us out with that, and she started to put it together, and she called me and she says, "I know you're a Republican and I'm a Democrat, but I think we can work together on this," and we did, and I don't know how much money they raised, but ended up we found out that the grandmother that just lived down the road from us, and she come up to our house a couple of times and visited with Patty, and they were able to do some other things too. So
that's wonderful.
We don't always tell everything we do,
No.
I'm one of them people that I believe the right hand doesn't always need to know what the left hand's doing, but that's what we have to do. We have to doing the right thing when nobody's looking is what's important.
You know what? We have to be responsible with what God gives us. We have to be responsible, and that trickles down into the governmental positions.
It does.
Yeah.
It should start. It should start with the church, and then the government should follow suit.
Right.
And actually, I've read.
I do want to say everyone who's going to say with that statement, because I know there's going to be some people in the comments. There's a separation of church and state.
No, there is not.
You got to read the Constitution correctly.
Yep.
It's telling the state that they can't interfere with the church. Not that the church can't be involved with the state.
Yes, that's what
we have
they
ain't
say.
got to be trust on our money.
Yeah, it's like separation of church and state means that the church has to be protected by a tyrannical government telling them how to worship.
Correct.
That's what that's about. It's not the church being mandated by the government.
Jefferson.
Correct.
Jefferson understood, without a doubt.
But they twist it.
Jefferson
They do.
understood. I mean, but anyways,
You're getting low.
we're getting down to the last minute here. So I'll tell you what. One more time, January the 22nd, we're going to have committee. We're going to try to get some people to come out. We're going to try to show them what they got to do to get to get voted in as a Republican committee. Nick's coming back in right now. So.
Nice talking to you, TJ.
Nice talking to you, Melanie.
Okay, hey, I'm going to close my show. On this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile with the sad. Love what you got and remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. People change. Things go wrong. But just remember, the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless the United States of America. I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.